What's happening? Of course, you know it's your boy B-Hop Radio. Shout out as always. I got my podcast partner up in this thing. OG Gangsta Wicked, a.k.a. Big Galaxy of Ghetto Mafia.
Yes, sir. I'm in the building, man. Let's take off. Couldn't wait to get here today.
Well, you know, yesterday we were just talking about the protests that were going on against ICE around the country, you know, and it was a lot of people in this discussion in our community. I was glad to see the conversations being had because these conversations need to be had. Now, there have been developments in what's going on and how the government is planning on, you know, counteracting what's going on with the protests that sometimes might turn into riots. And a Florida sheriff, he dropped a serious warning for everybody, and this is what he said, basically.
Okay.
Down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at. Because we will kill you graveyard dead.
Wow.
We're not going to play. This has got to stop.
Wow.
What were your thoughts on that when you heard that one, Wick?
Well, the first thing is hearing that right there is he obviously is talking to the Latino community for the riots that are going on right now. That's the first thing. Second of all, I think that, you know, if you are a undocumented immigrant, then and you're down there, you know, doing the type of things that the chief is describing, then, you know what I'm saying, he's letting you know that all, you know, anything is possible. We're prepared to take it there. I think that a lot of people here in America, and that's not, and there's no color on this one. I think this is one of the subjects that we're all kind of standing shoulder to shoulder and saying, look, bruh, if you're undocumented, you have no reason to be down there throwing bricks, pointing guns, burning up cars, you know what I'm saying? What are you even down here riding about? And you dead wrong. You know, we learned that from kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My mom used to say, what are you even talking about? That's my mom. What are you talking about? I told you to be in at 10 o'clock. You came in here at 1 o'clock and you in the door arguing. There was a rule. You didn't abide by the rule, and then you want to buck on me about what you didn't do. So therefore, this is one time I agree. Now, if I want to say that I'm proud of my people. Listening to that right there, everything that he said was what we stood on business with. We got dogs that bit us. We got people that lost their lives in our riots. I can start going down the list behind. I don't even want to pull my phone out of my computer, but I can assure you that over 16 to 20 blacks in those George Floyd riots died. And right off the top, there was a protest going on, and a car was drove through the middle of our protesters and killed. So to my people, I'm just proud of them. You know, setting the Latinos aside, I'm proud of our people because they came at us with the same thing, but we stood on business. We were there with it. We were prepared for everything that he's saying right there. We said, okay, well, you're going to show us. You know what I'm saying? We're tired. So if some we gotta get sprayed, we gotta get bit by your dogs, some people gotta die, lose their life behind this. It was a white guy that killed a bunch of blacks, said he was in self-defense. I can't remember his name during the rise. So we got the guns turned on us, but we still came out in droves and said, you know what, you got to show us we stood on business. Now, and our fight was different. Our fight because young black men were being gunned down in the street. You understand what I'm saying? We had a guy by the name of George Zimmerman that killed Trayvon Martin in cold blood and got off and laughed about it. You understand what I'm saying? That was just one of them. That was one instant. I got the jogger, Ahmad. You understand what I'm saying? So that one didn't work with us. You know, that didn't work. If you come down here and we were like, what? But in this situation right here, I don't feel that the Latino people. I mean, if you don't have, it's cut and dry. If you're here legally, sheriff them saying you're all right. If you're not, why are you down here burning up shit and causing chaos and fucking up this beautiful country, even though this country has problems?
No, I agree with you 1,000%.
You see what I'm saying?
I mean, if you're undocumented, you don't really need to be pulling guns and, firebombing nobody and throwing bricks at anybody. You might want to be trying to figure some stuff out right now or hurry up and get you some documents.
Correct.
Now, for the Latino folks that are documented that want to come down there and protest, they should be able to peacefully protest, like you said. And that's my main thing. I mean, you just got to make sure that it doesn't cross the line to where it starts to turn into riots, because those will be the reactions to what's going on with the riots. My main concern, as always, is just, the civil rights behind everything. As long as everybody's civil rights are being protected, I ain't got no issue. So,
but you don't have civil rights if you don't belong here in the first place. I think that's what our people are trying to tell you.
Well, no, you keep on saying as if nobody belongs here. There are plenty of American Mexicans that are documented and are American citizens that could be out here protesting as well.
Well, they're not the ones causing the problems.
But see, we don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know that. We ain't down there on the ground and say who is who and what is what.
Correct.
To a police officer, a Mexican is a Mexican is a Mexican, the same way as a black is a black is a black. Ain't nobody knowing if you from Africa, if you from Haiti, they gonna see a black person on the doggone street and they gonna say that's a black person. So, I mean, they gonna all be treated the same regardless if they are documented or undocumented. But for the undocumented folks, like you said, a lot of them probably won't even go out there because if they get arrested, they will be deported. So, mainly, the people that you probably will find protesting are the American citizens of Latino, heritage that's going out there to fight a good fight. My thought process is, what are they going out there protesting? What they are protesting is not just the deportations, they're protesting how the people are being deported. So when we go out there and we protest for George Floyd and stuff like that, we're not protesting the police doing their jobs. We're protesting how they did their job. What they did, they were killing black folks while under the pretenses of doing their job. So now we have to protest that and say, y'all ain't policing us correctly because this is inhumane what y'all are doing to black people in America. Gotcha. So that's where the line has to get drawn every time. Is ICE doing their job of deporting people, but are they doing it with respect and civilly to the people that they're deporting? Or are they splitting up families? Are people getting beat? Are people getting guns pulled on them? What's going on with these different situations that we are seeing occur across the country? So my main concern is always being, we have to watch how we allow these agencies to treat the civilians, because it's only a matter of time before it's on your doorstep. See, a lot of black people were getting angry with me saying that this is not our fight. And I totally understand and agree with that. But when Hurricane Katrina was going on, it was a lot of African-American citizens in New Orleans. And when you turn on the news, they called those New Orleans citizens refugees. They didn't call them American citizens. They were like, hey, these are refugees trying to come to your city, trying to do something. Now, immediately, your citizenship was revoked because of a natural disaster at that time. And those people were going through hell from the time that hurricane hit to years afterwards trying to rebuild because the agencies that were accredited of taking care of those situations were not on their job. So with that being said, at the same time, we had to protest that. We had to go out there and raise Cain and say, why are our people not being treated fairly in New Orleans after this natural disaster? And I say that to say, what do you think can happen this time? And you get miscategorized again. Okay? We were American citizens all the way up until Hurricane Katrina. Then next thing you know, we were refugees, and we were treated like refugees. So when they decide to put a label on you, that's when it gets dangerous. See, when you're talking about it's the undocumented workers down there. Well, no, if they start to say every Mexican is an illegal immigrant, and they start treating them all like illegal immigrants, that's when we're going to have some problems. And that's the same thing when they start talking about black folks as refugees during Katrina. Once they start calling everybody as a refugee, that immediately, brought down your status from a citizen to a refugee, even though they weren't refugees. So that opens you up to being treated any kind of way. So the civil liberties that we all need to be able to enjoy in America, those are the things that I'm fighting for. And it don't matter what color you are, we have to make sure that we stand up when those things go on. So like when George Floyd happened, we went downtown. You can go to Beehive TV right now, see me on the front line marching. I got the video camera out with. This is Atlanta, Chocolate City. But it was more white folks out there marching than black folks. Why? Because they said, you know what? No, this is a civil liberties situation right here. If they can do it to these black folks, it's only a matter of time for they can do it to us too. So when we're talking about civil rights and all of this extra stuff, the only way you're gonna get change is if people go across lines to work together to make stuff happen. See, one of the main things that occurs in this country, you say we got hit with the Willie Lynch. So we are divided by complexion and all of this extra stuff. Where racism, that's just what the government uses to be able to push and impose their will against us because we can't come together because we forget that we're all human. See, you got races, but you got the human race, which is everybody together as a collective. Now, if we come together as a collective and say, this class of people, white, black, brown, Asian, red, and whatever you is, we're going to come together to make sure that we got good wages, good houses, good education, and good treatment from, governmental facilities and agencies and stuff like that, then we can get real change affected out here. But if it's just one minority group here fight, one minority group here fight, one minority group here fight, then nothing's gonna change. And they just keep on doing the same thing to each minority group backwards and forwards because nobody is sticking up for nobody and everybody's saying that's your fight, that's your fight, that's your fight. So I mean, it's everybody's fight to make sure that everybody's civil liberties are protected in America. And that's just where I'm at with it. Now, when you talk about, undocumented immigrants coming in and if they point guns at officers and all this extra stuff, you already breaking the law. So you're going to break the law some more. What do you expect to happen when you just keep on breaking the law? It's going to get crazy out here for you. But other than that, man, I mean, I feel like we need clarity in this situation. We need clarity in the country. Folks got to come together, work together to make this thing a better place so that we can all enjoy the right to life and liberty in this thing, and justice for all. That's all I'm saying. Right. We just got to fight for our right to party.
That was well said, Beehive, and I understand that. A lot of people in the comments, they are going to understand that since you broke that down from yesterday. I think I'm going to end it on this right here, and this is going to be my only pushback. I do agree with everything that you're saying.
Yeah.
As black folk, we just tired though. We're tired of the message that you just gave us. It galvanizes us. We get and we go out here and we put our neck on the line for every other race, and it's not reciprocated. That's what the problem is. So therefore, it's only so many times that I can go back to the president of 1965 in Mexico and said the Negro fight is I forget which one it was, but the Negro fight is their fight. You know what I'm saying? It's not our business. These are things that they put in place a long time ago. So it sounds good. Yeah, we all one human race, and we need and this could happen to us. Well, newsflash, it already has happened to us. It's been happening to us, and nobody cared except for us. You understand? All of these fights from day one have been only us, and I think our people are just tired of it, and they don't want to help other races for this because you see, it sounds like you're saying that if we don't, you know what I'm saying, have compassion for this race or that race, or kind of help out a little bit, then our civil liberties can be, they can do us the same way. Well, what our black people are saying, they've already done us the same way, and they continue to do us the same way, and nobody has came to help. So it ain't no when they get ready and do it in the future. They're doing it right now. Yeah. They've been doing it, and nobody has stood with us. So don't come asking us for help. And I think that's what the kind of the divide is. You kind of saying, well, if they do them like that, they can do us like that. And black people yelling, nigga, they doing us like that.
Yeah.
And they been doing us like that.
Exactly.
That's why I think the divide is right there.
Well, no, I totally agree with that too, because they have been doing us like that the whole time. But you know, if the black people are so angry about folks doing us like that, where were they at when George Floyd was we was marching for George Floyd? Because it was more white folks out there than black folks out there marching. So you see what I'm saying? Well,
it was been on.
That wasn't no white folks fight. That was our fight. But they didn't integrate themselves into our fight.
Well, you didn't
tell them to go home. You didn't tell them folks to go home when they came for you. But you had the folks going around doing the bus rides and all the freedom riders doing the civil rights movement.
I'm gonna say this to you.
You didn't tell them folks to go home.
I'm gonna say this to you though. Over 400 years. And people might not want to hear this. There are almost 20 million what they call Milano babies, and I think that's the right word, in America right now. Meaning white and black have been sent from the slave times, have been having sex, have been making kids. So a lot of white people now, see. With us, if you turn, you know what I'm saying, the gun on this black person, you're turning the gun on their white mother or their mixed child. We ain't mixed up with Latinos. They don't fuck with us at all. So what I'm telling you is a lot of whites march with you now because they have an invested interest. They feel like, a lot of them feel like family because of, the integration, the segregation from back in the day have produced almost a generation of mixed kids that are white and black. So therefore, so a lot of these parents identify with both sides. So it's a different playing field. That's why a lot of the whites was with us, because a lot of them we have our DNA have crossed with a lot of them. I was just putting that point out.
Well, and I understand what you're saying, but you don't think the same thing has happened with Mexicans?
Not with blacks. They can't stand us.
Well, see, this the issue.
They're not
I'm gonna bring it all
you.
the way back. I'm talking about white folks and Latino folks. They've been integrating the same way too.
I mean,
when you look at I Love Lucy, when you take it all the way back, her husband was a whole Latino man. And black, when you couldn't even have a black man and a white woman together on TV. You had a married white woman and a married Latino man together on TV in a whole relationship. So you got a lot of Latino folks that's passing for white right now.
They're passing for white.
So their whole thing is they still just as integrated as we are. You got white folks that's invested in their stuff the same way that they invested in black folks. The whole thing is that at the end of the day, we still all the same people out here fighting the same fight and going through the same injustices. The question is, can we make sure at the bare minimum, see, I'm not talking about just changing the game, but at the bare minimum, a black man, if he gets pulled over by the police, he shouldn't be killed by the police.
Correct.
At the bare minimum, if you're going to deport all of the illegal immigrants, just keep the family together and deport them together. You ain't got to separate everybody and have them going through stuff. At the bare minimum,
Behind, I don't owe you. If I'm the United States government, whether I'm a black officer, white officer, Mexican officer, I don't owe you when you don't send these kids over here through traffickers and alone to get citizenship. You didn't care. You broke the law. You knew that there was a chance when you sent these kids over here that they could come back alone. That they can come back without their parents. We talk about now all of a sudden it's our responsibility after you don't made them swim across crocodile-infested waters and you don't put them in the hands of traffickers and here, just take my baby. Now all of a sudden I have to goddamn when I'm sending you back, I have to do it, you know what I'm saying? I have to do it with some type of rules and stuff. No, anything goes. When you broke the law, you know what I'm saying? Anything goes. You don't have any civil liberties. You're saying they could break the law, but then they should have civil liberties after they broke the law. No, if you broke the law, then we're going to break the law by how we return you. You came in illegally, we're going to send your ass out illegally. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying right now. That's what, I'm just saying, that ain't what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's what the Florida, you know what I'm saying? That's what she's saying.
Yeah,
that's what Trump them saying.
Yeah.
Nigga, if you didn't abide by the rules coming, then we ain't abiding by the rules sending you back.
Exactly.
And that's as simple as that.
But then did you see what Trump tried to walk back a lot of stuff because he done sent away a lot of these farmers that had their whole staffs being deported, and they thinking, see, everybody that's an illegal immigrant hadn't just been here in the last 3 months.
Correct.
Some of these folks have been here 20 years.
30 years,
and have
right.
built whole lives and got whole families.
Correct.
And have been good people in the communities and helping to build America like we discussed the other day.
Some of them been in military.
Yeah,
some of them have been in law enforcement.
Exactly.
Do you know? Imagine being a Latino and you were on the front line of a lot of the riots right now, and then they call you in office and say, you know, Lopez, come here, I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Find out you didn't do the paperwork the right way, big guy. We got to send you on back. You don't put your life on the line for 30 years. So I get it. I understand what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
But the bottom line is this right here, behind, and I know you agree. That, you know, we as blacks, we just tired.
We tired, but also we so tired, we need to come together and handle our business.
Now, we got issues we got to work on.
That's the other thing,
we got issues we got to work on.
To work on our issues, can't nobody come together, don't nobody want to work together.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
This should be a calling card.
We talk about something else, but then when you say, all right, man, let's all come together and figure out how to help these schools, how to help these kids.
Right, black on black crime.
Exactly, we got black on black and crime. And then folks want to... they want to egg that on.
Right. So, no, and you're absolutely right. I say it all the time when I see in these fight videos all these niggas posted. Every woman got a twerk video, seems like now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So our young girls are watching that right there. We got a lot of stuff we need to clean up. And these situations right here, we cannot look at these situations and say, okay, that ain't our problem. I get that. Yeah. So that ain't, the Latino, that ain't our problem. Yeah. Well, we do get, what about the things that are our problem? What are we going to do about those? Exactly. You see what I'm saying? That ain't our problem over there, but these are our problems. Are we going to address these? Mm-hmm. And that's what our people, you know, so we got to tighten up on.
Exactly. Now, I agree with that 1,000%. I mean, y'all hit the comments. Let us know how you feel again. We right back at it. Beehive Radio, shout it. Big Galaxy. I'll let y'all in a minute, man. We gone.